Hello and welcome to another audio analysis. In today's video we take a look at the track Angel Eyes by the Canadian metal band Spiritbox. This song is taken from their most recent EP, Fear of Fear, which did land yesterday. They had released 3 tracks prior to its release, and they've released a music video for every single track on this EP, really showing the work they wanted to put into the visuals as well as the music. And we've certainly seen a bit of expansiveness and quite a variety from the group on this EP. We certainly had The Void, which had this open vastness to it, but kind of was a bit more upbeat. Then we saw Cellar Door, which saw us diving into the nightmares of our nightmares, diving into our deepest, darkest fears with some of the heaviest music the band have produced. So will Angel Eyes shed some light on the band or see them continue to dwell in the darkness? Let's take a look at exactly how it sounds. So with this track we can really see it kind of adapting some of the things that we have seen from tracks like Holy Roller, really going back into those aggressive tones really coming out from Courtney, and we're seeing many of the elements that have crossed over from the rest of the EP, really looking at this split between the good and the bad inside yourself, the idea of these mirrored reflections and things like that. Mirror lies, angel eyes, so it's almost like you're looking through the eyes of an angel, but behind there's so much turbulence going on. I purify myself in the black of a velvet sky, I look behind myself in the back of an angel's eye. So really trying to come across as quite positive, but really having this turmoil that's really going on behind you because you've lost this game of innocence. And I like how they make use of things such as the ideas of frames and doors and things like that, kind of almost showing this kind of split between two personalities, between two different locations, two different senses. And it also is used quite a lot in things like horror films. It's the idea they're kind of using doors to show the idea of what lies behind the door, the darkness that lies behind it, the monsters almost that really come in. So really showing that the mind is almost a door to this innocence, to this guilt, to all these different things, a vision of despair crystallized, really showing a lot of emphasis on the eyes as well, what you see really coming quite heavily across, especially on this track with it referencing to the idea of angel eyes. And we really also see the idea of trying to hold on to this innocence. I'm trying to keep it any sense of the frame that I have lost. So the frame almost serves as the boundaries that you kind of find yourself within, which is slowly melting away almost. You can't sense it anymore at the door where I leave it. So again, touching on frames, boundaries, things like that, and the idea of just this tributary of pain I left to rot. So really just showing this darkness almost manifesting, corrupting and spreading, flowing under my skin. I lock it up, break me, break me. Innocence is a game that I have lost. Really referencing on that darker side almost coming out of somebody, that fear that can cause them to turn. So definitely going back to a more aggressive style compared to some of the tracks that we have seen on this EP, which had that much lighter style, despite kind of pulling in a lot of these negative connotations, really showing that mirror breaking. I break the mirror when I die. It's really showing this fragmented reality almost of these two views that you may have. The hourglass inside my mind, turn it once to touch the sky. So the idea of the sands of time running in a certain way, you flip it and they begin to turn the other way. So really just trying to change the tide almost of this kind of life that you live, where you're living in this darkness. And we can almost see from the visuals as well, almost like these two Courtneys, where you've got one that's kind of the light side, one that's the dark side. One is trapped, one has been caged in that darkness that comes out of you, that fear that can cause you to turn into something, almost into the monster, or you're becoming the monster that you have been afraid of. So really seeing a lot of focus on sort of mental reflection really being shown through this EP, through many of the tracks. And this song certainly does the same as well, making reference to mirrors, to the idea of eyes, what you see, and kind of almost having this battle going on in your brain for the two sides that are trying to take control. So it can look at so many different aspects, not kind of pulling in too many different lyrics, but really just showing this fragmentation, this breaking of reality, and this pain, this despair that you're kind of going through, and really just showing that through the visuals as well. And musically, we do see it kind of referencing to things more like Holy Roller than some of the other tracks that we have seen. I don't really feel it's the strongest track on the EP. I think that so many of the other tracks certainly had a lot more power to them, and I feel like this is them just kind of branching out continually into showing the different styles, showing the many aspects they can dive into on this particular EP, really showing the diversity from the group, and really just showing that Courtney can still continue to plow out some of these aggressive, deeper vocals as well, to really show that they can mesh between these lighter and darker tones and really incorporate lots of different ideas into their music. One thing they certainly do very well, though, is they certainly paint a very vivid picture through the visuals and through the music as well. We have the ideas of these velvet skies really coming in, really making use of these great descriptions to kind of show a bit more of these ideas they're trying to show across. The idea of crystallize, you can kind of picture crystals, and the idea of this mirror cracking, lots of descriptive lyrics that help to really set the scene, and again just fit in well with showing the ideas coming through on the visuals as well. And musically, we do get many of the elements we do typically see, these very deep plunging guitars really coming, these really heavy set drums to really build this darker atmosphere that the band really want to show across with this track, with the much darker elements that are featured within the lyrics. So that will be everything for today's video, but as always, feel free to let me know your thoughts about this track in the comments section below. Is it one of your favourites, or do you feel one of the weakest from their most recent EP, Fear of Fear? Or let me know what your thoughts are regarding the entire EP, whether you felt it was a success or a little bit of a failure. I would love to know your thoughts. Also, if you'd like to see more content like this, then please do feel free to subscribe, and I will see you in the next audio analysis.